Hi, my name's Zack
The bullet train.
Ramsey, and I'm a junior wrestler at the Meadows School. We are currently a couple days after the state championship final for the sport, and I'm here with Lauren Zimmerman.
Oh yeah, hi, I'm Lauren. I'm doing varsity winter cheer. So I was there this weekend cheering for you at your state match. How was it?
That state match is something that I think I'm going to remember for the rest of my life. It was such an experience. I could not have imagined a situation more perfect with my friends there, of course cheer team there. Thank you guys for doing that. In my home gym, it was packed. I don't know exactly how many people there, but it felt like thousands to me, honestly. And yeah, it was really something. And I had my dad in my corner with one of my mentors, Billy Bigelow. So it really was something that you can't get too often as a high school. So I've heard you guys are going on the state championship flight in a couple of hours, I believe. If you could kind of reflect back on the season, how would you?
Well, I'm a senior this year, but this has been my first season doing any type of cheerleading. So I think it's been really fun cheering for like winter sports, in particular basketball, wrestling, which is my first time ever going to a wrestling match, which was really exciting. But as like a new cheerleader, it's been like really interesting kind of figuring my way through the season, just because I've been like known as a utility, so I've backed stunts, I've front spots, I'm a base now for our upcoming state like routine, and I think it's just been really fun, all the choreo and just the cheer, like the school pride has been really interesting to kind of be a part of. So you had lost to Oscar in your regional match. How did you like think that you could come back and beat him in your state match?
So the week before when I was in regionals, I went into the tournament, I think 9-1 or 10-1, or sorry, 10-0, and I felt really confident at winning regionals. I had a clear bracket. I was set for first, and this kid who I've never wrestled before came in for my semifinals match, and his whole strategy and his whole game plan. He was a really strong kid. He's a first-year wrestler, so technique was not there, but a very strong kid. I've wrestled a couple of kids like that before, and there's ways to get around it. But at the time, last week, 2 weeks ago, I didn't know that he kind of wrestled as he did. So he caught me in a headlock, which it's just a strongman move. It's really hard to get out of if the kid has a lot of muscle. And so I got pinned by that, and I had to fight for the place in state for the third place. And going into the state tournament, I knew he was going to be there. And to be honest, I thought my semifinal match, this was the one before I wrestled for the championship, for my semifinal match. The kid that I was wrestling from Lincoln County, I've wrestled him before. They said it was his best kid. The last time I wrestled him, I actually teched him, which is like the kind of mercy rule, I guess, for points. I think it was like almost 14-2 or something like that. So I felt confident going into that one. It was probably the toughest match of the day by far. He's a really strong kid. He's technical. So it was a combination. It was like wrestling myself a little bit in that semifinal match. And with that finals match, I actually didn't know I was going against Oscar till a couple minutes before, or I guess 20 minutes, 30 minutes before, because I thought I thought he lost against his semifinal match, but he actually came back and pinned the kid. So honestly, going into it, I was a little nervous, judging by the fact that he was my only loss of the season for the 2A wrestling. And so my dad and I strategized the whole time how to get out of a headlock. And as you can see in the video, he tried to put me in a headlock 3-4 times, and I knew exactly how to get out of it. I'd keep my hips back, and I'd stay away from kind of that center of mass. It's to show. I have to show it, but it was very. It's strongman move. I learned how to get out of it, and actually he tried to throw it in the last 6 seconds, but that was how I pinned him, and so it was just really. It was kind of special, I guess, to pin him in the move that he pinned me with. So, yeah, as a part of the cheer team this year, what has been a kind of nerve-wracking experience, or an experience that tested your limits throughout the season?
Yeah, so Meadows Cheer hasn't competed in, I think, we said 10 years until this year, which miraculously is my senior year and my first year on the cheer team. So that was definitely the most nerve-wracking, just being confident enough for us to compete against all these other schools. It was really nerve-wracking, but it was honestly really exciting, especially when we were warming up and then you could hear all the crowd cheering for Faith, who was performing at the time. And I remember we had walked out and you could just see the crowds packed with like Meadows people who drove all the way to Coronado to support us at our competition. It was honestly like really, really exciting, and it was really cool for us because it was just like an accomplishment that the cheer team hasn't had for a decade at least. And for us, like as a team, like bonding, it was exciting. Especially for me, who has never cheered before, so yeah. What was like the best part of winning the state championship for you?
So when my dad and I started this program 6 years ago in 6th grade, I never could have imagined that I would have won a title like this in high school. And hearing that whistle blow on the last pin was just like the greatest relief of my life. And like all the hard work, I mean sprints at like midnight, and you know I would go on like 5-mile runs before dinner, and like the mental kind of just drain. I guess I love the sport, don't get me wrong, it's a very tough sport mentally and physically, and I work so hard. There's so much behind the scenes that like that's some of the stuff my dad didn't see, you know. And so when that whistle blew and I won and I hugged my dad, it was like the culmination of 5-6 years of, you know, the hardest work I've put in my life, and that's what I worked for. It was that championship. So now I'd like to ask you, what was your kind of proudest moment in the cheer season?
There's been a few. I think going back to the cheer competition, getting second at our first time competing was like really just like like what you said, it's just like a culmination of all the hard work that we put into it. We worked day in and day out, like practice for 2 hours every day plus to perfect that routine, and just like getting that like reward for all your hard work was really, it was great. It was a great feeling. But for like a personal thing, I fronted and I backed, and those are relatively easy, like in comparison to other positions when you're stunting. But when I was moved to being a base to replace one of our other members who was unable to compete or perform the routine, that's like a lot more demanding than anything that I had previously done. So I think doing that and just like exceeding my expectations as to what I could physically do was really nice and personally accomplishing. So. Oh, wait, am I starting?
Sure, you want to start? I can start with it.
Oh, this is your starting.
Okay, sure, I'll start. So first I'd like to say thank you to my family. First of all, my dad, I can't think of more, for being a part of this journey, you know, and helping me get where I am at today. I would like to thank Billy so much for dedicating this, you know, part of your life to helping me win a state championship. I watched a film and I'm like, the way I wrestled was like the way he wrestled, and it was kind of like being a bully. And he always taught me that every practice. He'd be like, be a bully, you know. And so I use that to win, really. And so I dedicate a lot of my victory to that. Friends at school, faculty for understanding, you know, late assignments, stuff like that. I mean, the Meadows does such a great job at being able to host an environment for student athletes, and I think that I'm really fortunate to be here, and I do attribute a lot of what I've done to other people. So thank you guys for that.
Oh, I guess my thanks are like a little less important than his. I guess I'm just gonna thank in particular my friends who joined the cheer team with me. I would not have been motivated to do it myself, and it's been definitely something that like I wanted to do, just to try out and have the experience of doing cheer. So I guess thanking my friends and like my teammates for like just getting me through the season.
Okay.